Leaving the hangar of their destroyer, Anakin Skywalker and his Padawan Ahsoka Tano led a squadron to the planet of Cato near Moidia after an invasion from the Separatists. The journey is not smooth, as Anakin is soon attacked by a swarm of buzz droids, and despite the best efforts of himself and R2-D2, Anakin is soon rendered unconscious. Ahsoka has to jump from her own ship to rescue her master in a dramatic crash landing, and they need assistance from Captain Rex. Just as they were about to begin the defense of the planet, Anakin receives a transmission from Grandmaster Yoda. Yoda looks deeply saddened as he relays the news of the bombing of the Jedi Temple, and he needed the help of Ahsoka and Anakin. Eventually, this will lead to Ahsoka being framed for the bombing by her friend Barriss Offee, and following a trial where the Jedi did not trust her, Ahsoka left the Order, contributing to Anakin's fall to the dark side. But what if the bombing of the Jedi Temple never happened? What would happen to Barriss? Would Ahsoka still leave the Order? As you're about to see, the omission of the bombing would change the outcome of the Clone War. Ahsoka breathed a sigh of relief as she saw her master had survived and R2-D2 had risen from the hilltop. Anakin stood up and asked Captain Rex for his assistance. Arriving to pick them up, the Jedi and clones continue their defense and ward off the Separatist attack, although they were oblivious to the Neimoidian Home Defense Legions allying with the Confederacy. They do, however, find connections with the Trade Federation due to the wealth and valuables left behind by Nute Gunray. Returning back to the Jedi Temple, they give a briefing of their mission to the Jedi Council. Elsewhere in the temple, the Padawan Barriss Offee had been thinking about what to do next. Her days in the Order were numbered, disillusioned by the Jedi Order's role in the war. She had thought about a bombing on the Jedi Temple, but had decided against it, feeling as if it would have sent the wrong message. Walking outside of her quarters, she bumps into Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker. Barriss discusses some of her thoughts of the war with them, but they were far too involved to stop fighting now. A disgruntled Barriss walked outside, looking for some kind of solution, before she was struck by a stun blast. Waking up in a cell, she sees the silhouette of Count Dooku entering the corridor. The Count had been keeping a close eye on the disillusioned Padawan for some time, and after his master had ordered him to eliminate Ventress, he had been looking for a replacement. And now, Barriss Offee's turn to the dark side had begun. Back at the temple, Padawan Offee's disappearance does not go unnoticed. Her master Luminar Unduli was calm and prepared to let go, but Anakin and Ahsoka were suspicious of Sith intervention. Having heard about Barriss's views of the war earlier, she was vulnerable to the allure of the dark side. The Jedi Council deemed Ahsoka, Luminar and Anakin to know Barriss the best, so trust them to lead the investigation. Retracing Barriss's steps, they look for anything untoward in her room, but find nothing. Searching the courtyard, Jedi Master Terra Sunube found a piece of a gauntlet. Holding it up in front of the Jedi Council, Obi-Wan identifies it as one belonging to Cad Bane, having seen it during his stint as fellow bounty hunter Rako Hardeen. As the Chancellor had somehow known about Obi-Wan's whereabouts before, Anakin decides they should pay another trip to the Chancellor. But the Chancellor is unable to assist them, and their trail goes cold. Watching the three Jedi walk out of the room, Palpatine contacted Count Dooku. The Sith Lord had not expected a Jedi to be abducted, but despite Dooku's outward coldness, Sidious sensed something was off. Choking his apprentice, he demanded to know the truth, but Dooku only claimed something about the return of Asajj Ventress. Sidious is more annoyed. He had asked Dooku to eliminate Ventress a long time ago, and she was proving to be an annoyance. Asking Dooku to find Barriss immediately, the apprentice is relieved that Sidious had bought his lie about Ventress. Whilst he had gotten away, he would use the time wisely to train Barriss. As time progressed throughout the war, the Jedi's pursuit of Barriss had mostly been forgotten, except for Ahsoka, who failed to shake off her feelings of unease. She started to doubt her own role in the war, and her place in the Order. The only constant was violence. Flying to the planet of Ringo Vinda for yet another mission, Ahsoka's unease began to heighten. Turning to see Clone Trooper Tup behaving erratically, Ahsoka lifted him into the air and slammed him into the wall. Anakin is confused, but after a medical examination, tells Ahsoka to send him to Kamino. However, following a message from Admiral Trench, Dooku wanted the clone for himself. Ahsoka had to weave through fire from the droid-heavy missile platforms, and she thought that the path was clear, but she was wrong. Surrounded by a squadron of enemy ships, she manages to carry Tup to an escape pod and fall to the surface below. Splashing into a thick swamp, Ahsoka instantly recognised the planet to be Nal Hutta, one of the most unpleasant planets she had been to. Trying to reach Anakin, her master receives her message and is on his way to help, but watching a small crowd moving closer, Anakin would have to hurry. That is it for part 1 of What If the Jedi Temple bombing never happened. Thank you to Tiny Panda and Haley Klitska for the suggestions for this video. If you'd like to see a part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on your notification bell, and subscribe for more tips. And as always, leave a comment on what tip you'd like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.